every morning starts with me coming out here in my nightshirt and my Crocs to pick often frozen nettles, a diminishing number of often frozen nettles for my morning tea. I don't know why or how I've not managed to get rid of a hot drink in the morning and during the rest of the day as well. Think of all the things I've given up, you know? And I haven't managed to stop needing a hot drink in the morning, so I drink nettle tea. I mean, George Orwell says the reason why there wasn't a revolution in the 20th century was because of strong tea, fish and chips and the football pools. And there's something about tea, isn't there? The problem with January is you feel the need for a fresh start and to do something new and right, okay, let's take control and let's do something. New Year's resolutions. And a New Year's resolution here is hard to enact because you can't plant things. If you put seeds in the ground, they're going to rot. There's not much you can do. And so you're like champing at the bit and you want to get going and you can't quite manage it. So it's a slightly frustrating time, really.
Do you have any New Year's resolutions?
Apart from the hat? Well, I've just got to get through it. I mean, I'm worrying about what life's going to be like for the next 3 months. I am worrying about it. So I eat twice a day. I always have breakfast like this. In fact, it's exactly the same thing every day, about 10:30. And then I have supper in the evening, so I eat twice a day. And it varies a little bit, but not really, because in the evening it's some kind of stew at the moment. Praying for sort of salads and really nice things in the summertime. What's changed massively since December, when I was getting 1 egg a day, probably from all my hens, is that even with a little bit more daylight, they've started to lay more, so I'm getting a good few eggs. All of the things that were really, really expensive and hard to come by for your typical old-fashioned English peasant, I've got cheese, meat, eggs, milk, and all of the things that they add loads and loads and loads of. Potatoes, wheat, nori vegetables, I've got none of. It's a sign of being a completely crap peasant that I've totally got it the wrong way around. Sorry, some leaves fell off the roof into my milk churn. Doesn't need to be in the fridge at this time of year. Normally, I'll just leave the milk on the floor in here. And it doesn't freeze because of the fat content. And it just keeps really well. It lasts a really, really long time. So sometimes you're struggling because it's really hard to get cleaning utensils sterile all the time, kitchen utensils sterile all the time. So milk lasts in the summer like 2-3 days. Whereas this time of year, it's wonderful. It goes on and on forever. It just tastes better too. I mean, oniony type things are are okay. I mean, these are in spectacular nick. And I've got plenty of them, and I'm using loads. And I've also got loads of leeks. So I remember thinking, good food is not possible without onions and leeks. And I'm actually doing all right with these. So it's not all doom and gloom. Oh, rotten one. No. So it's not all doom and gloom. That's my best one. I'll save that for my birthday. Those are some squashes that I didn't cover with a duvet and big coats and stuff, and they've been frosted and now they're rotting. The ones down here aren't so bad. But it's been so cold, I haven't been able to keep it from freezing in here. The onions are doing sterling work. Trying to get past huge, great big fat bloke trying to get out through a very, very narrow space. The actual problem is that is all the potatoes I've got left. Realistically, I've got to get from January to the end of May, June with what I've got, and that's the potatoes I've got. As far as the rest of the veg is concerned, I've got 11 small swedes, I've got some greens, I've got a few turnips, and I've got leeks. But that's all the veg I've got. So that is basically my problem, is that this is not enough food to eat between now and May. Those potatoes. I've been doing no wheat January. So I haven't been using any wheat because I want to try and reserve it. And I might try and go a little bit into February not having any wheat, because this is all the wheat we've got in here. I mean, this bin is reassuringly quite heavy, but I know that it takes about 6 of those to make 2 loaves of bread, about 6 double handfuls like that, and there's not that many double handfuls in here, so I'm guessing there's probably 20 loaves of bread. On top of that, I've got loads of meat, but I don't think I'll be all right on just drinking milk, eating cheese and eating meat. I think I'd make myself quite ill. And all along, when we started, I remember thinking, I'll be fine if I've got enough wheat and potatoes, plus milk. And here we are, middle of January, and I don't have enough wheat and I don't have enough potatoes. So these celeriac are all rotten. You look here. This one's ready. Wonderful. This is what happens when I start eating it. By the time I get back to the kitchen, there's none left. So what I've got is peas that I've drilled incredibly thickly into these guttering. Peas you really wouldn't normally put in until March, but I'm trying to get them off really early. So I've sowed them in there, and what I'm going to do is wrap them up in bubble wrap, quite a few different rolls of bubble wrap, and then keep them on here, out of the way of rats and mice, and see if I can get these peas to germinate in these gutters. And as soon as I can, then I'm going to plant the whole thing like it was a great big flower pot into the earth here in the polytunnel to try and get some ultra early peas. What everyone says to me is, it's a great plan, but it's a battle to stop the rats and mice from getting at them. But this compost is frozen solid, making it very easy. If they actually go now, and we get some decent weather for them to get going, and I manage to keep them warm enough, we could have peas in April, which would be a total victory. Massive victory. It feels a little bit like starting over. I'm feeling like, haven't we been here before? Isn't this what we did? But also the solution to foods in this polytunnel, absolutely. And so it's going to be really interesting seeing how we get on over the next few weeks, turning this from a polythene turkey shed into something that's really, really looks impressive and is growing lots of veg. The one thing I'm scared of is what happened last year, because last February we lost the polytunnel in a gale. And I was reading one of my favourite books, which is Agricultural Records from AD 20 to 1977. And the page opened at this, which is 1703. This is a summary of the agricultural records of 1703. And in the bottom paragraph it says, Daniel Defoe records that the worst storm began on Wednesday, the 24th of January, which is in 4 days' time, and lasted until the following Wednesday. People were afraid to go out of doors and were afraid to go to bed. The Eddystone lighthouse was washed away. 12 warships were sunk off the coast. The Bishop of Bath and Wells was killed in his own bed because the chimney fell on top of him. Many houses, barns and trees blown down. Casualties very heavy. In London, the damage cost £2 million. That was in 1703. And 8,000 people lost their lives in the Thames estuary. And I think, oh no, it's that time of year when gales can really do some damage. So that's what I don't want to happen. This is a fascinating book, all of the disasters that are going on. There's a great passage here in 15 something or other, 1541 I think it was, where the people of Somerset were forced to make their bread out of peas and beans because the price of wheat was so high because the harvest had been so crap. So I'm a bit worried about my polytunnel. The other thing is a fox tried to get through the polythene and gouged right the way across the back where the hens were. There's claw marks where a fox was jumping up against the polythene. Well, I can't collect the eggs because I've got one in there laying. We're going to have a quick look. Got 4. Not bad. Not bad, 4. Well done, hens. Top hole. Yeah. That one was on that's a junior hen. This is a pullet's head egg. That's from a very young hen that's just started laying, and they lay little eggs. Little tiny eggs. Blue ones, that one. Mrs. Matt's be very pleased, she likes blue eggs. Put them down, I'll put my coat on. I've just spotted here some really nice nettles. These are much better than the ones that are outside. I never thought I'd become a nettle obsessor. good nettles. They're going to be really useful because I'm going to a party tonight and it's the only thing that I'll be able to drink is nettle tea. Parties aren't great when you're self-sufficient. You can't eat anything there, you can't drink anything. And so I'll just take a little bag of nettles with me and be cheerful, drinking my nettle tea in the corner.